Don't throw it out. You can fix it. So as you can see on my lap here, what we're gonna sew is pillow. And Lulu is enjoying this pillow in my lap at the same time. But what has happened is it has ripped at the top. And you can see the stuffing, and it's torn here, and it's kind of sticking up here, which makes me think that it was maybe never sewn exactly right to begin with. The first thing I'm gonna do is grab my nippers, and I'm gonna open this up so we can stuff this whole piece down inside of our seam. So I'm just gonna cut that. Okay, so now I can put these kind of torn edges, and we're going to encase those back inside that seam so it looks more finished. Basically, we're going to start at one end, and we're going to hide our string as we come back and forth and catch it, and we're going to close it up. Okay friends, so we're going to need our needle. I suggest a high quality one. Not a cheapo, some thread, and our nippers, and we're gonna wet the end of our thread so we can put it in our needle. There we go. Got that through there. Pull that through a bit. I used to always use a double strand string, but I found that it usually gets kinked less and caught less if you only use a single thread instead of doubling them up and tying them both in knots. We're just going to tie this one end in a knot. If you wet your finger and leave a little bit of an overlap and you make this X, you should be able to roll it off your finger and you get like this bunched up thing. We didn't get. We gotta get that end of that thread to go through. Let's try again. You wet your finger, and then you put the end of that thread on top and across your finger, and you're gonna cross it. Then you want to roll it off your finger, making sure that this end comes through. Yep, we got it. You can see we have our knot. So it takes a few tries sometimes, but once you get the hang of it, it's a much easier way to tie a knot than going like this and trying to wrap it through. And it usually makes your knot a little bit bigger. And if you have any tail, you simply snip that off. Okay, so we're ready to sew. Okay, so we're gonna start at this side because I'm right-handed and I'm gonna more comfortably work over to here. So all I'm gonna do to start is catch kind of an inside piece where my knot will kind of be hidden inside of there. I'm using a bright thread, maybe so you can see a little bit better, and I'm gonna go behind that stitch and back through. Kind of lock it off better. I'm going to do that again. This will help that first stitch to stay in place. Okay, and then all we're going to do is catch. So if I'm here, I'm going to start on this side, and I'm just going to catch maybe 1/8 of an inch on this side over here. Just maybe 1/8 of an inch in. And then I'm just going to keep going back and forth. Get a few stitches in. Almost making like an invisible seam. And as you pull it tight, it's going to pull together. And that's basically it. I'm trying to kind of stay in the same spot all the way over, so it will look relatively even. Catching this side. I'm making sure. See, my thread was getting a little close to the needle. There, the needle. The thread is in front of the needle. Catch this side. It's a little hard to see how much you're grabbing because of the nap of the fabric. And this side. Looks like it might end up where this side puckers a little bit. That's okay. And grab a little more on that bottom side. Put that in there. A little less on the top side. Can close that gap. Birds are talking to us, Nunu. Blue jay? Maybe a blue jay. We're still learning our bird calls. Trying to memorize them by sound instead of sight. Which is hard when you're a visual person and not an auditory person, as far as learning and memory goes. Okay, so now we're gonna cut this off. That's the bit that ripped out there probably. And let's see, this part might be a little bit funky because we have to go farther. So we go past that spot there. We're just gonna keep doing the same thing though. A lot of times I will do this with my dog's toys. She loves to rip a hole in them and rip the stuffing out. It's a good natural predator instinct. And her toys are expensive and she tears them up in one or two goes, and I do this to fix them. And I put all the stuffing back in, and she usually can't get back through my stitching as easily as she got through the original stitching. That way her toys last longer. I don't have to buy new ones. You can see here, this is where it was caught. I'm gonna go kind of through both those a little bit lower and try and solidify that, toughen that up. So any part that we're not grabbing is just becoming the seam allowance inside. Okay, so you can see put that down into a seam. Now here, let's see, let's go one more time through here. And then we're gonna have to start grabbing back here. Behind it a little bit. We can hide some of that, yeah. Tail. Just outside of this. I can feel a lot of tension on the thread, and I want that spot to be stronger. There we go. Now it feels like it's going to hold. Just about got it closed. Everyone in my family loves this pillow. So that was something I was just going to get rid of, and I wanted to fix it before the hole got any bigger. Sometimes when things get messed up, it's best to take care of it before it gets worse. If you let things go, they become bigger holes or problems. Alright, so now we're gonna go and make a loop. We're gonna finish here, and we're gonna go back through our loop. I like to go through twice and pull that tight. And if you're using similar color thread, obviously it's gonna be easier to hide that stitch. And I'm gonna do that one more time. I'm just gonna go underneath, and I'm gonna make a very small loop. So I'm kind of going behind where that thread is coming out, just a little bit. And I'm gonna pull that loop, but not pull it all the way tight. And I'm gonna go through once and twice, and pull it tight, and that locks off my thread. And then I'm gonna go through and behind it one more time again, and pull, and then I trip it. And we are in business. We're all fixed up. Oof. Good as new. Raddly-doo. Say bye. Say bye-bye. She's like, leave me alone. There you go, y'all. Peace out.